Baby rape occurs all over the world. And in South Africa, one researcher estimated that about 1/10 of all rapes that occur in Johannesburg involve children under the age of 3 years. So, I was actually an intern at the Teddy Bear Clinic for Abused Children at the time. I used to work with Luke, in fact. And I took it upon myself to interview 10 men serving very, very long sentences for the rape of children under the age of 3 years. Some of the findings from my study include that these men's childhoods were marked by appalling maltreatment, a term that describes children whose basic needs for physical sustenance and protection, emotional security and interaction are not met. Maltreatment was noted in parental absences, both physically and emotionally. And I'd like to read you some of those comments from the men who participated in my study. My father just left when I was 7. He didn't come back no more. I see other people, other mothers, and the fathers giving love to a child. I remember my father didn't give me that love, same with my mother. And as Luke has said, that leads to severe attachment problems that carry people all the way through their lives. These men also experienced frequent and severe beatings from their mothers, their fathers, older male relatives, teachers, community members. Weapons included sjambocks, fan belts, canes, rulers, blackboard dusters, shoes, handbags, fists, and so on. My mother had many frustrations. If she hit you, she hit you. My brother hit me with a sjambok because I lent a bicycle tire to a friend. That teacher beat me. I was naked and in front of the class. These men learned how to suppress their feelings whilst they were beaten. And what happens then is a terrible pattern of behavior is set, that the child is seen as defiant, and the person who is administering the punishment becomes more and more determined to make the child cry. These men's childhoods were also associated with family violence and alcohol abuse, and it became normal, noted in, my father normally quarreled with my mother, and then he normally was aggressive towards her. Research shows us that boy children who witness their mother's abuse during childhood will most likely become adult abusers of their intimate partners, similarly noted in my research. And I quote, I never realized that the bad things my father used to do to my mother, I would ever do that as well to somebody else. Violence and sex were linked to power and manhood, noted in, women don't have the power to say to you, what are you doing when we beat them? That's what makes us men, to be like that. Ironically, 9 of the 10 men who participated in my study were fathers themselves. Their relationships with their children were similarly marked by physical and emotional absences and attachment difficulties, and this is why we refer to the cycle of violence.